so they've got nothing on that. It is completely dry, no nectar, no bee bread. They just stopped working on that, so that's coming out. They growl at me every time I pop the propolis. I wish it were a little warmer today. Okay, got that one loose. This one's just got about 2/3 full of open nectar. Oh, they actually had just a little bit of some capping on your side. See these wax cappings? They're just about to start finishing some of this nectar. I have an ant that's actually trying to get a little meal. Let's see if we can get that off. Sorry, ant. And then on the other side, we've still got some wet nectar and a few cells that are starting to get capped. So that is an entire slab of capped honey. And it's pretty much the same thing on this side. You can see where they stopped filling down here at this line, but everything above it's capped. And that's probably got to be a good 5 pounds, just the weight of the frame and everything. Still no brood yet. Oh, honey starting to get heavier. The combs are starting to go lower. You look on the other side and it is the same thing. Whew, now these are getting heavy. If I look through the light, I can actually see kind of where they've had an old brood ring. See if I can hold it and show it at the same time. Here we go. Oh, right in here, this dark circle, I think, are old cocoons or bee silk. So I'm still seeing just massive amounts of capped honey. And this is all wet nectar they're working on right here. Which, see what it is on this other side. Almost entirely capped nectar, or excuse me, capped honey, and just a little bit of wet nectar here in the bottom. And I still don't see any eggs, larvae, any capped brood, anything. So we'll see. I haven't seen any bee bread. Well, just a few cells of some bee bread. A lot of capped honey. Hi. And then just sort of a river of wet nectar right through here they're working on. Let's see the back side. About the same thing, just sort of the mirror image. Wet nectar right through here. Sorry, this is getting heavy. And just tons of capped honey. This is about 10-12 pounds. Just get heavier and heavier as you go further in. Same thing, about half capped, half wet. And is this? I still don't think I see any brood. And I normally can get them to move. They're just so focused on this nectar. All right, let's put this one back. And I just took my first sting. Nectar over here, capped honey over here. Oh, we got a guard. Oh, I am wrong. Here we go. You probably can't see it, but down here at the bottom, we've got some capped brood, finally. So I finally got into the brood nest. Spin it around. Do we have brood on this side? Whew, this is getting heavy. Glad I don't have to carry a whole box of these. I think this is the nectar side. Nope. Now that they're opening up, I can see some of these darker cappings. Ooh. Yeah, right in there. You don't know if you can see it. right up in here. Same thing on the other side. Back over here. All right, I'm gonna start working a little faster. I think rather than keep going further in, I know that this is all brood, so I'm just gonna put a frame of solid honey in front of the brood nest and one on the back side. So it looks like we've got 3 frames of brood, and we'll have a slab of honey and a slab of honey on either side to sandwich it, and that'll pack them away for the winter. Let me scoop these 2 out. Just making sure that there is no brood in that. Make sure the same thing on the other side. Okay, and in it goes. Get my fingers out of the way. It's kind of like playing Operation. This one is brood as well. And I'm amazed for foundationless frames with just a starter strip, no wires. I'm able to lean this pretty well. And I'm not gonna turn it flat, but it's a lot more secure than I would have figured. There's a lot of bracing on this side. This side not as much, but you can see it still wiggles at the bottom. Just put our divider board in. I had to swap out the thumbtacks that came with it because they kept cracking, but I just used some little finishing nails. You can see that right here, and it just stands up a 1/2 inch so that there's an air gap, and the bees can get in there, but they're probably not going to because it'll be too cold. But this is what we'll put on the back end. I'm not for sure if you should do this. I'm not crazy about this big open space, and the divider board wants to fall over on me, so I'm going to backfill the hive with at least these frames, and I may go grab enough from inside and make it 20. This is how I did my foundationless frames with a starter strip. I pulled the wires out and then took an 1/8 inch router bit and cut a little groove in there and grated some wax that I had for my hives. Took a heat gun, melted it, and then put in the little strips that I cut out of full sheets of foundation, which if you get it centered and you leave enough room on the corners for pop holes, they seem to work just perfectly. If you get the hive leveled, they seem to draw it straight down. I haven't gotten any frames that are all the way to the bottom bar yet, but we're about 3/4 of the way there, and they're looking amazing. So these seem to be working well. This is my recommendation if you want to go foundationless. Okay, push it all together. I think that will keep that divider board in place nicely. Let me just get it centered. So I did my inspection 3 days ago, and I noticed something that I did that was wrong. The 2 frames of honey that I put around the brood chamber, I had them spun around the wrong direction. So I've got to go in there today, which is 3 days later, now that it's warm again, and fix that. So here's me doing that. And the reason is I noticed that one side of the honey frames was predominantly nectar that hadn't been capped yet, and they probably wanted that next to their brood, probably for a good logical reason. The propolis is a lot softer today. Today would probably have been a better day to have done the inspection, actually. Alright, some space. This takes more than you think. Okay, ladies, there we go. Yeah. to get another sting. That one the other day wasn't that bad. But I don't really want another one. I'm good. Maybe later. Oh, I spoke too soon. I just got one on the ear. And I can't even let her loose. Okay. Time to shut this up. Probably gonna get one on the back of the head in a second. This is what I get for making a mistake. Spray the back of my head. This is helping them go back down though, slowly. My ear's starting to throb though. They just keep coming up. It's gonna be fun. There's another sting. Yep, I gotta get a veil. Still got a guard flying around my head.